system.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Also, Cesar, you turned me on to these years ago, like the Fat Cup things.
Those things are good. The fat bombs.
Yes,
Yeah.
but this is a new Atkins Keto cookies cream clusters.
I've had that.
You've had this one?
As fuck,
It's fucking good. And it takes like 4 bites to eat it. Like it's like a real candy bar. I'm so excited.
I was like, I saw the new packaging and I bought it a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, because I think I was eating like 2 a night. It's like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I was like, it's addictive, man. It's just good as hell. Fat bombs, man.
When I looked at it on the box, it had it looked super chocolatey, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I'm just craving cookies and cream. It's straight cookies and cream. It's so fucking good. It's such a
does it so well. Yeah.
And it's filling.
Went to Ingles today. I was like, should I buy this again? It's like $9.88. I'm like, fuck.
What was it? Those things? The Atkins things?
Yeah, that.
They're close to that price at Walmart, which is where I was at. They're close to
if I could eat one a day, I would 100% be all in. That's
so I had one on the way home, and I brought this one down here, but I probably won't eat it since it'll be all up in the mic, right? It's probably not good for audio. Or is that just ASMR?
It tastes good, man. It tastes good. I would mute for a fat bomb.
Oh wow. Yeah, keep unraveling it. I'm in oral bliss.
Oral bliss. Brant, what kind of bliss are you in? I'll put you in that oral bliss.
Damn.
As you shove it in your mouth.
Yeah, it's putting the whole package in there and chewing it.
Didn't it?
Like a monster.
You heard it. You heard it here. Richard's putting the package all in his mouth.
So I throw this in there. You guys see that? And then I just pull out the package. Holy shit.
Those are like the cherry stem thing.
Yes, exactly.
Somehow got it out of there.
Oh my gosh. The Starburst. Unwrapping the Starburst.
Oh God. Murmy said, I wonder how deep you were gonna go. So you're probably not gonna the trick won't come back.
Good.
Reappear up here.
Mm.
YouTube says streaming, but I don't think anything's connected. I didn't get a notification again either.
I mean, we're on YouTube. I don't
get it. I don't fucking get it. I haven't gotten a notification in a long time. Mets win. Phillies are out. Fuck you. Fucking Phillies. I hate the Mets too, but whoever won this was going to lose to the Padres
Padres.
Yeah, Dodgers winner.
Dodgers on their last leg right tonight, right? They got to win every game now at this point, right?
They got to win the next 2. Brant, so basically in sports, like you have divisions, right? And you have to be the top. You try to win your division to get into the playoffs. The Braves have done it 5 times in a row before this season and won the World Series 1 time. And usually we win the division and then we crash out the first round of the playoffs. So the Phillies were the division winner, and they have just completed exactly what we are notorious for. So all the shit we've heard for all the years, all the shit talking, all the mouth, they just got fucked up. So there's a certain satisfaction in. Not that we should be there, but
I mean, you never know, man. Padres are getting hot right now, and I don't know. It would be debatable if they should be there, but
they're playing good baseball.
As I said, they're hot right now. That's all that matters, right? In sports, anytime you get hot, you ride that wave.
I never got a notification. What am I doing wrong? Do I need to unfollow us?
Unfollow yourself.
I don't think anybody did. There's only one person on Twitch.
No.
No, Buish says he's very satisfied. What's not catching up then? I'm watching the restream thing.
We just lost one with you whining about it, and now we're down to 5.
Whining and crying.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's whining.
Yeah, Buish is very satisfied over here. As long as Buish is satisfied, I'm satisfied. I'm satiated.
We're going to send them Microsoft Forms, or we're going to send them like, was it Survey Monkey or whatever the thing's called?
No, we use Microsoft Forms in-house. That uses our 365 subscription.
I mean, internally it's always, but if you have somebody outside of the organization, right? It's like Monkey Survey or something like that. That's usually the one I see.
Survey Monkey. Does your 365 come with Microsoft Access? Just totally unrelated note.
Yes.
Oh, KT says there's 5. Mermy says, no show Bleach got a notification. Why is he a no show Bleach?
Says we got 8 now.
That's harsh.
I don't know what's happening.
Interesting.
They're showing up for this content, this golden content, and National League East playoff update. Bleach, the Mets won. Bleach gives good hellos and goodbyes, like a certain county professional leading their emails with hello.
Not a Beatles song.
You say goodbye.
I say hello.
All right, ready to kick this thing off? What are we talking about? What is our secondary? Oh, that's what it is. You guys ready?
Hey man, we were arguing about Twitch views.
It'll record just for Mermy. Yeah, I've got 8 on Twitch now. I think Restream's just slower than whatever real-time thing you're looking at.
Yeah.
Brant, look at this thing. That is like solid. Straight cookies.
Straight fat bomb, man. It's straight butter, man. It's just straight butter and cookies. That's all it is. Straight butter and cookies.
My 2 favorite things combined into one is I eat on stream.
Mm-hmm.
ASMR people are paying for. Can you hear me chewing?
I hate everything. We hear everything, dude.
A little bit, yes.
I don't like sounds of people eating. Mouth.
You're like that guy. You're like that guy in a quiet area, just slurping on the Slurpee to the straw. Am I making that noise?
Yeah, but I'm in the back of the adult theater. Leave me alone.
Me?
I'm here to jerk off. Leave me alone.
I'm an American.
What do you care?
Doing the Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. What do you care how loud this is? What do you got back there, a Slurpee? Oh man.
Murphy's reminding us about the subscription option that they could be subscribing to. So
hey, somebody just has to watch the video, right? Somebody's got to pony it up and actually watch the onboarding thing.
I mean, you can send me the link. I'll do it. I fucking watch videos all the time.
Twitch and you. Man, if I ever have some free time and just
I'm like
sit there and zone
I'm like that
out.
bastard from The Matrix. The one that looks like Colonel Sanders. I just sit there in front of the TVs. I'll stream this shit all day.
What was that guy? It was from the second one. It wasn't the Keymaster. What was he?
I don't know. I don't even remember who it was. I just remember Will Ferrell making fun of him like in the VBA.
He did. He had the big thick eyebrows and everything. Yeah,
that's all I remember. I don't even remember who it was.
What was that guy's role?
He just watched everything. That's all he did.
Mm-hmm. The Matrix, like after that second, I watched the second film one time and I've never seen the third film, but I watched the Animatrix stuff, which was really good. They got into like the Bungie territory, right? Where you have the library, the guardian, the sacred icon. You had the
don't tell me about no fucking library in the flood.
The ark, the flood. Yeah.
Why is the library always getting flooded? I don't get it. I don't understand.
And then you have to come right back through the.
I remember when we played the first one. I was like, we went back to the library again. Man, I was almost done with that game. I was like, well, we're back to the library again.
So, friend of the show, Russell, and my oldest child completed the first Halo game, which you have never done, Cesar, and you like to bring up often.
I never will. I'll wait till the remake. I'll beat it.
Right? Yeah, it was a grenade. I wish we had a clip of that. For sure, somewhere. Maybe I unlocked a trophy somewhere.
Because I was like, what the fuck? And you're over here laughing. Like, what happened? You know what you did. You're laughing.
I was just watching himself die on.
What happened? He was there. We both beat the game. I don't know. We were both Master Chief, and there was only one Master Chief in the final cutscene. I think it was you. I don't think I ever beat Halo 1. I only beat it on original hardware.
Lies.
So my brother and my oldest child fire up their save game, and my child picks a level which is way further than my brother remembers them being, and totally skips the library. He's like, wait, I think we got to go back some. So he said when they played it, because they ended up playing the library, it wasn't as bad as he remembered. There wasn't backtracking. I'm like, bullshit. That level sucks. That level sucks shit. There's no sugarcoating the library. It's horrible.
If you ask me, the most memorable thing of Halo 1 is me going through the library twice. That's the only thing I remember from that game.
Yeah. There's that horror twist where it turns into like a nightmare game when you discover the flood, and it's like, ooh.
I think at some point, I remember when we went there, we were just trying to run through it, remember? We were just trying to run through it. I was like, fuck this library. We just try to run through it.
That's every time I play that game now. I played it one time and fought the library, and I was like, "Fuck this shit. Let's just run."
Mhm.
You have to run and try to get past that, and then hopefully get to one of their arbitrary checkpoints, and then hopefully when you die, you're gonna die. You pick back up after that point and keep going. God bless the library.
And then we played Destiny in the libraries and that shit too, man. They love some fucking libraries in that thing, man.
They did the same thing with Destiny.
Biblioteca.
Yeah. What was a guy that would sell you the weapons? You would have to find him every week. The Traveler was that big sphere thing, and you had the Speaker, and they're so up their ass with the stuff. It's a funny way of carrying their lore forward. I saw Destiny 2 on sale on Steam, or it's free to play, and you could buy all the expansion stuff, and people love that final shape thing.
I mean, yeah, I hear it's good.
That guy Russell and I played baseball with all those years ago that was excited about Destiny. I swear he's got to have 10,000
decades in there.
He's got to have 10,000 hours in Destiny and Destiny 2. That's been his game. I bet he's gone through more PlayStations than Destiny versions. Playing the hell out of that thing. You guys ready? As we lose people.
Born ready.
We're 8 people on Twitch to start with.
As soon as we start talking about a fucking library, like, man, get the fuck out of here.
So what lines us up with, how do we get 8 people on Twitch and then we drop down to 6 when it's just our normal preamble stuff? Like, who gets an alert is like, oh, I got to join this.
I mean, sometimes there's some people on the, depending on the front page, depending what the algorithm does. So you never know.
How do we get to that?
Maybe
how do we get to the front page?
I don't know. Maybe there's people out there like, I'm just going to go look at who's just chatting.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know.
I'm going to see if they're naked. I'm going to see if they're in a hot tub.
I mean, we advertise that clothing is required, so they'll be very disappointed.
It could be that too. Ooh. Let's see if Cesar's wishes came true this week. Is that why that's in there?
Yes.
That's why.
You guessed it. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 321 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and Destiny 2 news podcast. It's definitely not that. That was just in our preamble. Join us for any of other Bungie offshoots and libraries and Guardians and Travelers and Arcs and Sacred Icons, right?
It's the worst thing I ever heard, but I'll allow it because of the segue.
So I see a library behind you currently. I may or may not have
movies.
A library of boxes behind me. Brant McKee may or may not have a library of Skyward Sword Edition Joy-Cons.
Skyward Sword Edition.
Buish says he joins for potential hot tubs every time, so maybe he's one of the 8 that we lost. He's like, I don't see hot tubs. I'm get the fuck out of here. This week, alongside hot tub news, we have 343 rebranded, ? The end of LBP3. Yeah, you know me. New Nintendo hardware. Brant laughs. I got a Brant laugh. I'm happy with that. Red Dead Redemption PC release. Re-release? Was it ever on PC? Never. That game has never been on PC. All right, this is news. This is news. I'm glad we're talking about it. And as someone clicks through the links following alongside me, we have your October PlayStation Extra titles. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee.
What's up?
And our resident page master and lore master, both of which come from the famous
Library Master.
famous Halo level, the library.
Mm-hmm.
Cesar Concepcion II. Cesar, welcome.
Hello.
What is your favorite non-library level of Halo?
I don't know any of them. I just know the library levels.
The ending? What about the ending? Did you enjoy the finale of Halo?
Never seen it or experienced it.
Oh, you saw it. You saw the ending. We saw the ending credits. We rolled credits. Cesar, are we going to have to fire up a stream one day and just do this thing?
I'll wait for the remake.
You drive. You're driving the Warthog. I'm in the back. I just
Halo.
stand there. I'll shoot some people and then I'll jump out towards the end and you finish the drill.
I'm not playing the first Halo again until it's an Unreal Engine 5.
There's a good chance it's going to be, right? Like, that's what we were kind of showing off. Like, I'm looking at that armor thinking, that's definitely not a newer Halo. That's got to be the first one. But he also, Master Chief couldn't grab the energy swords in that first game. Is that going to be a twist? Is that what they're going to remake? They famously cut their teeth on the Combat Evolved anniversary, like taking over that franchise by making that game. So is another Halo remake in order for the Halo Studios? Who's Halo Studios? Do we know?
Halo Studios.
Who's that, Brant?
What?
Brant, you want to fill us in on the Studios De La Halo?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Halo developer 343 Industries have rebranded as Halo Studios, and is working on multiple Halo games.
Can you hear me?
Developed within Unreal 5.
Can you hear me? Rebranded.
Oh, we lost Richard's audio.
No, I'm here. I was checking. I was checking something. Cool. I said rebranded.
Oh, he's trying to finish his fat bomb. Continue.
Eating the hockey puck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to provide ASMR content. And remember, we discovered, like 3 or 4 months ago, if I hit mute on the mic, it doesn't actually mute the recording. So,
yeah. When you were like, I hate these fucking idiots I podcast with.
Actually, I was pausing to sneeze, and everybody's like, "Oh, we heard the sneeze." How? I muted my mic. When did this come out? Was this last week or earlier?
The news
this
was
week?
Shared during Sunday's Halo World Championship tournament, which I didn't know was a thing.
Was that in Atlanta? I feel like we watched some of that. Cesar, didn't we watch that at DreamHack one year?
Possibly. I mean, DreamHack is this month also, I think. It's moved up to October, so I think.
We need to see when that's in Atlanta. That was a lot of fun to go to. I would go back to that again.
That World Congress Center is blowing up because they move Anime Week in Atlanta to the World Congress Center. So
AWA's there now?
Yeah, December, because they normally do it during Halloween, I think, and then they pushed it back to December, and they moved it over to that area.
Oh yeah, DreamHack was last weekend. That's where this came from.
Yeah,
October
that's
6th.
what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we watched some of this. Cesar and I went to DreamHack. PUBG had just come out because we got pictures with the PUBG guy. You remember that? Mm. The guy in the helmet and all that.
Was a correlation with like a LG or a Samsung. I can't remember which one it was. It was one of the.
It was a cross promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Smite t-shirts for Switch. They were like, come play Smite on Switch and get a t-shirt. I was like, fine, we'll stand in line for this thing. But then
we played Halo on PC, remember?
We did.
It was like the first time they ported it over.
We did.
Yeah. It was like Halo Reach, I think.
Yeah, it was Halo Reach. Halo Reach was it wasn't even in early access. That was like demo stuff we were playing. It was flawless. I think it was
because they just recently announced it was coming to PC for the first time, right? And then they were over there, and they had a bunch of stations where they had just set it up where you played the demo. So
that was pretty cool. But they were playing the Halo World Championships at that time was Halo 5, right? They were playing Halo 5 as the competitive multiplayer Halo. Yeah. All right, so this was this past weekend at the Halo World Championship tournament in which Brant competed and came in second place. Congratulations, Brant.
Sure.
You were the second to last teabagger.
Which
is almost where you want to be.
And Richard Murmy was able to confirm that you were still not muting yourself, so they heard everything. We just didn't hear it. So
seriously, me eating the candy bar?
Let me look at the chat.
Oh, come on. Great.
Nice.
Again. And that's muting on Skype. What else am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Sorry, Murmy.
But it was basically just a technical test showing various Halo-themed locations running in Unreal.
Like action figures or toys to me.
Yeah. This is a big deal because they've been using their slip space engine, which I guess was partially blamed for the game's last-minute, year-long delay and sluggish rollout.
And what we discovered from that was like their contract structure. So like when they would bring in people, they were not familiar with that slip space engine. They would have to work on learning that first off.
It's also when they decided to put 5 megs on Brant's copy of the game on the disc. Oh
yeah, that's
please don't remind me. Please don't remind me. They did remark that slip space at this point is almost 25 years old.
Mic test.
They kind of
You guys can hear me, but I think I killed it on OBS. We'll find out soon. Go ahead.
I don't know. They continue to pontificate about how the switching to Unreal, they hope it, helps development as well as the developers. Alongside the changes and the rebranding, which we just said they're changing to the Halo Studio, it's making changes to its culture, workflow, and how its teams are organized.
It is 343 though, right? You guys gather that? Like they're just rebranding it, but rebranding.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're completely like some humongous shakeup. They're just, hey, we're no longer 343. It's Halo Studios.
And the head of that is Pierre Heinz. And there's been some unfavorable comments made about this individual's leadership. You can dive into Reddit and see what that consists of from previous people that work with him. None of us.
And it's just a fresh start, right? That's all this is, right?
Yeah,
it's a fresh start.
Which is what Infinite was supposed to be, right?
I mean, well, it's like you alluded to that. Remember, they did an anniversary collection. It's kind of like Gears did, and before they made the new one, they followed that format. Infinite just kind of never took off the way they wanted to. I'm not gonna say it never took off, but it never took off the way they wanted to, numbers wise.
Right, and the Coalition has never not hit since their Gears remake.
Yeah,
every Gears game they've made since then has been awesome.
But this makes sense. I mean, it's an engine you don't have to worry about supporting. You go to Epic Games, right? You don't have to have anybody internally, like you've mentioned before, on contracts losing them who has knowledge of the engine. So it's helps alleviate some of that workload.
You can hire people who speak Unreal versus trying to train somebody in 6 months at Slip Space.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull anybody. Unreal's a major engine, so you can pull them from any aspect from the gaming community. So if you wanted to stay in the contract world, you could, right? That would align it with that. So
hopefully they're not going to. Hopefully they have more of an internal. But why switch to a non-slip space engine? Why switch to something that's more universal if you're not trying to attract broader appeal, right? But it also, you're not maintaining an engine. I think somebody else has run into this. Was it Bethesda Studios that eventually adopted a more universal engine instead of like Gamebryo so that they could keep up with changes faster? And yeah. Because you're supporting two things. There's a reason
to have internal. Yeah.
You're supporting a game and you're supporting an engine versus just supporting that title and being able to pull from the best of those who know that engine to support that title. That puts you at a major strength.
Can't have a world-class engine that you love, Richard. Renderware. We know how much you love them.
I love Renderware. It got us from the Dreamcast to what? PS2? Like through the PS2?
Until EA bought them, ran them into the ground.
Did EA buy Renderware?
I believe so. I think that was the engine they were using before they got all snotty with Frostbite and then pulled back when that was not their engine of choice.
Renderware. Brought to you by Renderware and Havoc Physics.
I'm about to say, where's Havoc?
You saw those two flash up, you're like, this is going to be a good fucking video game. Watch these videos. Watch what they, and there's actual 4K screenshots that have been released of the same stuff. And it looks like Master Chief from the original Combat Evolved,
It looked like somebody was playing action figures in the backyard, but that's fine, I was like, it's fine. And Richard, to answer your question, Renderware was created by Criterion. That's how EA got it.
So. There we go. That makes sense.
Criterion made Renderware?
Yeah.
The Burnout people?
Yeah.
Then everything got folded into EA and absorbed and just demolished.
According to this, it all leads back to Brant here. It says it originated in the era of software rendering on CPUs prior to appearance of the GPUs, competing with other libraries such as Argonaut Games' BR Ender.
Hell yeah.
We're joking about, so what is the best way to... studios would license Renderware it it was a middleware, right? That's the right term.
Yeah.
It was a game engine middleware that you could get physics off of and FMV implementation. Like it had a whole bunch of attributes to it. It wasn't just a software suite. It had a whole bunch of fleshed out features. But you would see that logo. It was like a mirror logo, almost like the original PlayStation. It had like an S thing with like lines on the top and then lines on the bottom, and you'd see that across Dreamcast, PS2, GameCube, original Xbox. This renderware was.
It's like you said, it's a set of tools that help you develop a game that you don't have to make from scratch. So that's all it was.
From 99 to like 2006, it was rare to start up something that didn't have. You wouldn't see renderware splash across the screen. Yeah, it was huge.
It was like every fucking Dreamcast game that had Windows CE on there, so or CDX or what it was called or something else on there.
Yeah,
which I still see pop up from once in a while.
It was Windows CE. It must have played really nice with Windows CE. It must have been like some built-in tool set for renderware. Welcome to the Southeast Premier Video Game Engine Software podcast. I'm excited. We've been in a state of Halo not knowing what their future is for like a year probably-ish. Like, where's it going? What's it going to be? So this is, I think this is promising news. And I love the screenshots. Everybody's saying, like, if you're listening to our show, you're probably a fan of a lot of the same type stuff we are. Go watch these videos and look at these clips. It's people are saying, the quote I keep seeing is like, this is what I imagine Halo looked like in my mind's eye. This is what, when I think about memories of that first game, this is kind of the imagery that pops up. It looks really, really good. It's got them Halo bones, says Brant. Brant's famous line. How long has that been? Like 2 or 3 years?
Oh my gosh. Longer.
It's got them Halo bones. I think that was the title of an episode when you were talking about playing Infinite. We were in the beta?
Yeah, we were in the beta. Freaking
such simpler
Halo
times.
Waypoint.
Next up, speaking of game preservation, this comes from Tom Ivan at VGC, VideoGamesChronicle.com. Little Big Planet 3 and Little Big Planet DLC are being delisted from the PlayStation Store. They'll be pulled from sale later this month. Sony has announced that Little Big Planet 3 and Little Big Planet DLC are being removed from the PlayStation Store. The PS4 platformer and the entire range of DLC for the franchise will be pulled from the sale on October 31st.
I think it was like 20 days.
Yeah. Quote, anyone that currently owns or purchases Little Big Planet 3 or any Little Big Planet DLC before it is delisted for sale will still be able to access their purchased games and content after its removal, the platform holder said. Sony owned Little Big Planet creator Media Molecule also wrote on X, Little Big Planet shaped us as a studio and remains an important part of who we are. We are and always will be forever grateful for it and the incredible community it has inspired. This was a sumo joint, wasn't it? Didn't Media Molecule move on to something else at this point?
Yeah, they had the other game that they recently closed down.
Dreams? Did they move on to Dreams after that?
Mm-hmm.
Little Big Planet 3 was released for PS3 and PS4 in 2014 and was developed by Sumo Digital. There it is. Rather than Media Molecule, it's currently available to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium subscribers as part of the game catalog lineup, although it's due to be removed from library on October 15th. Sony indefinitely shut the online service for Little Big Planet 3 in April, months after it claimed it had temporarily taken the game offline while it resolved technical issues. We won't cover that because I think we already talked about that. Does that also cover the PS3 version of the game, or are we to assume that has since been long removed from being available?
I think they removed those previously when they were having these network or server issues, right? There was a vulnerability in the servers.
Yeah, the patches or whatever.
So, and I think cost-wise, I think it required a lot of reworkings, how they painted it. And so, I mean, we just had this with the long list of trilogies we need to remaster, like Killzone or Resistance, that they're just sitting on. So,
Sly Cooper, God of War, Ratchet and Clank. I've still got the PS3 hooked up. I should fire that up and pop in Little Big Planet 3 and see what that state of that looks like exactly.
That, or we can wait 2 years and get Until Dawn remake again. So,
PlayStation 6 launch title Until Dawn remake.
I would rather them call it Until Dawn again. I don't know why they didn't do it. So,
Untilish.
Redawn.
Until Redawn.
Next Dawn.
Yeah.
It's like Friday, next Friday, Friday after next. It's like the trilogy of Friday movies. You have the trilogy of Until Dawn games.
Talk about a remaster that has like no pulse. I don't even know if that actually came out yet. Didn't it already come out? Just kind of just
did, and people were saying
didn't do anything.
No, people quite the opposite. People were saying the PS4 one performs better than the remaster.
There's people that can track, I guess, the game's performance based on the PlayStation 5 user data and like trophy data and stuff like that, and they're saying that the Until Dawn remake has less users than, or I guess less people playing it than Concord.
Oh no.
Or what was the other one? The Last of Us 2 remake as well.
Oh no, that can't be good.
So it's, I mean,
it's got mostly positive right now on Steam right here, but it's only 730 reviews, so you can take that with a grain of salt.
It's also Steam. That's not people that had access to it on PS4 potentially.
Yeah.
Hey, what's this new Until Dawn game? This thing looks nice.
That's the thing is, I mean, and people have already have access to it through way of backwards compatibility. So it's like you pop that one in and go, well, this looks good enough. This is fine.
Do I speak for all of us when I say our most played Until Dawn game is the Rush of Blood VR?
For me, yes.
Carnival ride from hell. The one that scared the living shit out of Russell. Oh, speaking of scaring the living shit out of Russell, new Nintendo hardware has been announced. We ready for this? What are you guys speculating?
Oh my gosh.
What are you guys speculating?
The brand new hardware?
Why do I want this though? And I watched the video and I was still like, I don't know about this.
It looks neat. How loud is it, man? That's the question. That's my next question. Will it actually wake me up from slumber?
$100?
I mentioned this to the CFO and she waggled her phone at me and said, we have something that does that. And I said, but this one is a Nintendo one and it's $100, which was followed by absolutely not.
If it gets the job done. I mean, I'm at the age now where I have to set an alarm on a phone and a tablet and a work phone. And sometimes that does not work. So if the thing's loud enough, I will invest.
You guys ever seen a thing called a clocky? Have you ever heard of clocky?
No, it sounds like you're
friend of the show, Sarah, a friend of mine for many, many, many years. She had this thing called a clocky, and it's a alarm clock on wheels. And you set it to like 6 a.m. or whatever. This motherfucker would take off, like off the nightstand or whatever it was on, and it would roll around and like holler and scream and just raise nonstop hell. Oh be making all these noises. And it's like rolling back and forth like an RC car. It's called Clocky. I experienced Clocky a few times up close and personal. I was not a fan of Clocky. I would rather just not wake up than experience an alarm clock I have to physically get up and chase down to make it shut up.
Eventually, Clocky will get chased with a hammer. Yeah, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm coming for your ass, Clocky. This, of course, is not that. This is a Nintendo-based thing, which makes you not want to murder it. According to Tom Ivan from VideoGamesChronicle.com, Nintendo has revealed an interactive sound clock called, almost named after General Santa Anna's greatest victory. It is called the Alarmo. Remember the Alarmo. It will be available at retail in early 2025, priced at $100. Brant's laughing. But Switch Online members can get it now. We always have respect and reverence for the military victories of a certain Mexican General Santa Anna. What's his first name? We just know Santa Anna. I've looked up his Wikipedia so many times.
We're not doing
We always go on a Santa Anna kick. Come on, Cesar, let's go.
I know more history of Santa Anna just from King of the Hill than anything else.
Because they were in Texas.
Well, because remember they took his leg. When Cotton took his leg, remember? Yes. They didn't want to give it back. I think then he would try to give it back to him. They gave him like a driver's license in return or something like that. I forgot what it was.
They hate Santa Anna in Texas. He was very efficient. He was very brutal.
He was like their leader for like a long ass time too. It was like until it was like 80 or something like that.
He's like their George Washington. He was huge. Not so great for those, like Davy Crockett. In addition to playing sounds inspired by Nintendo games to wake up the user, the clock reacts to body movement by playing other sounds from the company's games. Users can snooze the alarm with gestures and end it simply by getting out of bed, or by
like the middle finger gesture.
Yeah. Fuck off, Alarmo.
Yeah.
Go away, General Santa Ana. This is Texas. Or by pressing.
What kind of fever dream you having? You had to dream about Santa Ana.
Or by pressing a button if they prefer. Alarmo can keep a record of the user's movements while they sleep. In the US and Canada, Alarmo will be available at retail starting in early 2025 at a suggested price of $99.99.
No.
However, it's yes. Don't let they get lost in the laughter. This is a $100 Nintendo themed alarm clock. Santa Ana not included. However, Nintendo Switch Online members in the US and Canada can purchase it online now via the My Nintendo store and in person at the Nintendo New York store. NSO members in Europe will be able to purchase Alarmo later this week. I don't know why they would. They probably have no reference for the military might of General Santa Ana. Alarmo responds to your body's movement with game sounds, so you can feel like you're waking up in the game world itself, according to Nintendo. Set an alarm inspired by Nintendo games with more alarms on the way as free updates as they become available. I can't even make it through. The Alamo stuff is killing me. It didn't even come to me till the recording.
Why?
Set an alarm inspired by 5 Nintendo games with more alarms on the way as free updates as they become available. Nintendo says users can choose from 35 scenes inspired not by Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, Pikmin 4, and Ring Fit Adventure. Quote, in the morning, you'll experience immersive sounds and music from the scene you picked, rise to sounds of the Mushroom Kingdom with Mario and friends, begin your day's adventure with Link and Princess Zelda, or start fresh with the Inklings from Splatoon 3.
Yeah, but if it does Breath of the Wild, it's just like one piano key, right? How's that going to wake you up?
It does some other stuff too.
Maybe that Great Plateau theme. To coincide with the announcement, Nintendo's published a Q&A with 2 of Alarmo's creators. That was pretty funny. I was reading over Wario's tweet of the fact that they put out. It's like it covers all bed sizes from twin to king size beds.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you have a person or an animal sleeping with you beside the bed, it may affect some of the data that the Alarmo records. First and foremost, I hope this product will establish a new convention for waking up, said Tetsuya Akama, who helped design Switch's Joy-Con grips. Do you think he worked on the Switch successor, the magnetic grips? Potentially. You wake up, enjoy listening to the game world for a while, and just by getting out of bed, a fanfare will play automatically and the alarm will stop. I hope that being able to change how waking up that day feels by choosing a different alarm sound will become a global standard in the future. Justice. No, man, it's a fever dream. It has been for like
what
10 minutes.
What the fuck are we doing here?
Just as touchscreens and automatic doors are commonplace for today's generation, I'd be excited to see a new generation that's grown up with Alarmo and thinks of an alarm clock as something that makes a sound when you roll over and stops automatically when you get out of bed. So definitely watch the video for this thing. It's only like 4 minutes, but what he's referencing is the motion sensing on the Alarmo can tell like your stages of rising. So as you start to wake up, it'll give you encouraging music. Like if you fully sit up in bed, it'll give you, I don't know, think of the Final Fantasy fanfare where you win the battle and it gives you that as you actually have finally woken up. The example they use in the video, I think, is like somebody stretching and Mario's hitting the coin blocks above them, like boom, boom. That's what's going off above Mario jumping.
So what would you do if you ever let my coworker who always famously tells me the only part of the day he enjoys is the first 5 seconds when he wakes up and then he realizes he has to go to work and gets depressed all over.
Is he smoking
again,
a cigarette during those 5 seconds? Because that's the only person I've ever heard like looking forward to waking up.
I mean, he just wakes up and he just those first 5 seconds of waking up, he just forgets everything. He's like just coming to, and they realize, oh, I gotta go to work, and then Dreg just comes over him
I don't know
again.
about y'all, but my first 5 seconds, I gotta pee. As soon as I get up, I'm like, oh, I gotta get to the bathroom. Where's my glasses?
Skill issue.
Velma. As soon as I wake up, Velma got canceled from Netflix. Was that a bad show? Max? Was it Max, not Netflix? Was it not a good show? Was it a not?
I don't know. It was a different characterization of that character. So that's where you tend to divide your audience, right? You have a certain outlook of certain characters, and then you have people like this is the way it should be, and then you have some people who like they changed the format. This is cool. It's a different way of seeing it.
Right.
So I've never seen it, so I can't speak from experience, but if it's a very divisible
super
show.
divisive,
it was either
divisive or divisive.
Yeah,
like that. I told you guys about that Batman Caped Crusader show. So,
which was also on there. So
they want to keep making more of the same, or do we give enough homage to the old stuff to appease people? Do we do our own vision of whatever this is?
I mean, it's like what Brant said. I mean, the guy created the animated series. They got him back for this one, and they wanted him to reboot it or do like a continuation. He's like, nah, I'm bored with that. I've done that before, and I don't want to touch it. And so this was like his. They say, all right, do what you want in this world. But Max had originally Warner Brothers had passed on it, and they canceled it. And then
can you hear me?
Zaslav, when he came up there, he was shopping. Yes, we can hear you. Zaslav was shopping that show to different networks and shopped it over the Amazon Prime and stuff like that. That's where it found.
Because Amazon rejected it or sent it along the line, or how did that work?
I don't think they've said anything about renewing or canceling it yet. So,
but it's got one season, and I've watched one episode, and it was very impressive when I watched.
It's not bad. I mean, as long as you don't put yourself in like, oh, animated series thing. If you look at it from a different lens,
I love the female Penguin voiced by Minnie Driver. I thought she was awesome, and the whole like sex appeal over the guards and that influencing the organized crime. I thought that was really awesome. Good take on Batman. Finishing up this Alarmo article, Nintendo Alarmo.
Thank God.
Quote: "You don't have to touch it at all when using it daily. Although from time to time you might feel like checking how long you slept or if there are any updates. I want Alarmo to be a presence that gently supports you and accompanies you in your daily life without you having to take care of it. As Akama-san mentioned, I hope this establishes a new convention in everyday life." That is a quote from Yosuke Tomori, who previously involved in Splatoon and Nintendo Labo. So initially the theme's on the clock, so it's actually kind of a cool device. It was, I think, $50 would be my instant purchase, just to mess around with. I'm also in the state of trying to simplify and like clean up some things. So I think if an alarm clock on my nightstand, that would be a plus moving forward for simplicity and organization. But there's 5 scenes, right? So you pick, there's going to be overall 35 scenes, but you pick from specifically Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 3, Pikmin 4, and Ring Fit Adventure. That was kind of a strange pick to me, but I guess they already have like a shit ton of voice samples and stuff from like that exercise program. So it seems smart that would be like an encouraging thing, and they could just pull from that content. What other games would you guys like to see represented in They said they're going to add on to more in the future. Didn't they announce like the first 2? Maybe Mario Kart or something? They said it was going to pull from
Mario
something.
Kart and Animal Crossing.
I think that sounds right. But they're going to be free updates, so this thing doesn't come with a subscription plan or anything. And the Nintendo Switch Online membership requirement is only for early pre-orders, like right now, or they'll ship it to you right now with that. If you have that plan,
yes,
you can get it for $100, right? But come January in US and Mexico, I think at least, it's going to be available at retailers. So I'm assuming Target, Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon, the standards, right?
You can put it on top of your Xbox Series fridge. Right next to your Xbox Series S toaster.
Sandwich, which are precariously sandwiched in between your Xbox Series S plushie. That is just like a squishy Xbox Series S. Red Dead Redemption.
Thank God.
What do you mean? Alarmo. Remember the Alarmo?
Sounds like a reject character for Futurama.
It really does. Man, part of me just wants to fuck with it and then like take it places. Like, all right, we're all here together.
It's like
so that's our thing at the beach house. Like, no, I'm gonna set the Alarmo for 9:00. It's gonna be playing fucking Mario music down here.
As I continue to sleep. So,
Breath of the Wild's a bad example. Didn't that fucker sleep for like 100 years? Wait, maybe that's the one I set it on. Link slept for 100 years at the beginning of that game, right? Yeah.
I believe so.
The next story is from Tom Ivan at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare announced for PC. The game and expansion will be released in October. Guess what? We're in October. The open world Western game will be bundled with its zombie-themed expansion, Undead Nightmare, when it hits PC on October 29th, 2024. The title will be available via the Rockstar Store. That's still a thing? I thought they got rid of the Rockstar Store. I got like 4 free games just for signing up for that when they launched it.
That they got rid of the ability to force people to buy stuff from the Rockstar.
Kind of like Ubisoft's doing now, pulling back from what did they announce last week was going to be available? Then I saw the game. Remember the game we couldn't figure out last week? I saw the game listed and I couldn't recall what it was. Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be day 1 on Steam.
Right, yep. That's the first one.
But they're also rolling back. When Assassin's Creed Mirage. Was it Avatar? Was it Avatar Frontiers coming to Steam?
It has to be. You're the only person that watches for Avatar price drops.
The deluxe edition is $27 on Amazon right now. I'm like, come on now.
$8 more.
Some people are calling it Far Cry Blue. It's like Far Cry Blue is the best Far Cry in years. It's really good. The title will be available via the Rockstar Store, Steam, and Epic Games Store with pre-order details set to be announced later this week. Why would you pre-order a digital game? That's not an article. Quote, in collaboration with Double 11, this new version adds PC-specific enhancements, including native 4K resolution at up to 144 Hz on compatible hardware, monitor support for both ultra-wide, which is 21:9, and super ultra-wide, or 32:9, HDR10 support, and full keyboard and mouse functionality, said Rockstar.
It's the next one. Next one's ultra wide 64,
right? 64:9. What does that look like? I'm looking at a 21:9. That's gotta be like this is stupid. I guess it's just 4 side by side, right? 4 total.
Yeah, probably. So.
Yeah. What is 64 divided by 16? It is 4, right? There's also support for NVIDIA DLSS 3.7 and AMD FSR 3.0 upscaling technologies, NVIDIA DLSS frame generation, adjustable draw distances, shadow quality settings, and more. This makes it sound like it's going to play pretty well on Steam Deck, if I were to guess. Looking at those specs.
Should.
Red Dead Redemption was first released for PS3 and Xbox 360 on May 18th, 2010. That does not feel like 14 years ago, but it is. Before hitting PS4 and Nintendo Switch in August 2023. Titles available on current Xbox systems due to the availability of the Xbox 360 version on the Xbox Store.
I mean, you know what makes it worse is that we were talking about Until Dawn earlier, and that game's almost 10 years old. So,
and that was a PS4 game, right? Oh, that hurts, man.
Yes.
I don't think it's PS4 games being 10 years old, but that was as of last year. Like Killzone Shadowfall's 11 years old almost as of next month.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is released for PS4 and Xbox One in October 2018 before making its way to PC in November of 2019. So it was a much shorter window there. The series has shipped over 91 million units worldwide, including over 65 million copies of Red Dead Redemption 2. So 2/3 of the copies sold are Red Dead Redemption 2. According to Rockstar owner Take-Two, depending on the price of this and the Steam Deck playability, I may be in for a copy of this version of Red Dead Redemption.
If it's like the PS4 and Switch base, It's gonna be like $49.99.
Sucks.
It'll be on sale.
We loved it on. Remember, it
PC.
came to Game Pass, and maybe not Game Pass, but it was one of the backwards compatible titles. We made it our Game Club game that month, and it played so well on the Series consoles, the Series X. I'm sorry, the One X, not the Series consoles, the One X and the One S. It was a phenomenal job of porting that to those systems. Good little update. Last but not least, someone bring us home with these PlayStation Plus game catalog titles. Do it.
Sure. You got your Plus and Extreme Premium for this month is you got Dead Island 2, PS4, PS5, 2 Point Campus, PS4, PS5, The Devil and Me, PS4 and PS5, Gris, PS4 and PS5, Turn to Monkey Island, PS5, Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed, PS4 and PS5, Firefighting Simulator, let's fucking go. On all current gen consoles, I guess, and last gen. Overpass 2 for PS5, Tour de France 2023. I guess we have to wait for next year's episode. Richard's Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands on PS4, which they note on here is a re-release. I think that's the only major re-release of the month instead of the numeral umo of 1 or 2. And then on your premium PSVR 2 and Classics, you had The Last Clockwinder for PSVR 2. I'll give that a try. I have no idea what the fuck that is.
I think I've seen that one.
Sure. I mean, it's on there, so I'll try it. And then a little bit of horror this month as we got our aforementioned Dino Crisis for PS4 and PS5, and as well as Siren also coming over from the PS2. Dino Crisis respectively from the PS1. And then you have R-Type Dimensions EX, which I think is just a port of a PS4 game. And those are your premium and extras.
Some good titles in there
for this month.
I've been wanting to try Dead Island. I may have to upgrade.
All right. I'm a little ticked because the app I was using to make funny images is charging now, so I can't save it and send it. But I wanted to show y'all
it's charging
what I made. Yeah, they charge now.
Oh, they
apparently.
got like a subscription thing of some kind.
So I found this. It says "Asleep at the Wheel." Remember the Alamo, but I changed it. It says "Remember the Alarmo," and I put the Alarmo right.
Beautiful.
In front.
You can't just screenshot that and go around their nonsense.
No, I can't. I can't even screenshot it. It's when I try to screenshot, it says that you're unable to because of privacy settings or whatever. So they suck.
Awesome.
They suck.
Just so you know, I lived a year or so more in Texas, and as is in most states, when you have to take a history class, I was at one point forced to take Texas history. And we spent a whole month on the Alamo. And every time you mention that, it's like, it's just me remembering 4 weeks of the Alamo. And I was like, it was probably like a footnote in just regular history courses around the world. But we had to do a deep dive in the Alamo. So
as one does.
Did you take a trip to the Alamo?
Yep. No, was that San Antonio? No. I was on the other side of Texas. I was over there in Fort Hood. So it was on the east side.
Some big old women in San Antonio. And a dirty ass river.
Okay, Charles.
Oh, I love Siren coming to the service. Cesar, there's some gameplay of you and I playing Siren at 8 seconds per frame on our YouTube channel.
Hey man, it is not many games that allow you to use the elephant gun as a weapon. So
long live the elephant gun.
Props to that. And they're shooting people like what was it? Or shooting zombies or whatever the hell that is, and they're like Jumanji.
How good is that remake? I ordered that PS3 on disc remake, but I've never dabbled in that. Outside of us joking
episodic.
About it, like Siren Lost Translation or something maybe.
This is an episodic adventure.
We got the first one free here, and then you had to pay for the rest of them, and then other regions got a disc. Where's my disc from? Europe or Japan?
could be in Asia because I think I ordered Aquanauts for PS3 and that was Asia. It was Asia only and it was in
I think
English.
that's
So
the case with this one.
that one and another one was Africa. I think Africa we got digitally eventually, but it was I got a physical copy of that as well for PS3.
That's a Natsume title, isn't it? Natsume. Natsume. That's the end of our news. Did we do all of it?
That's all the news.
We did it.
Games played is definitely light for me. I played one game the past couple days, and that was a multi-hour marathon with you guys of Call of Duty Warzone, celebrating the new Halloween season. I don't even know what that is. It's just unlockable things.
I just remember that this was the one that we actually convinced Brant to run the show on. Normally Brant's fast pass control too, so
he's what?
Well done, Brant. Brant's like, I'm not gonna be the leader, and it just randomly assigns it to somebody else, and then usually it's you, and then you get mad.
I'm fine with hitting select. I just forget sometimes.
It's usually how we usually go by.
So I joined you guys late. I'd had a long day, and I finally showered. I saw the stream go up, and I'm chatting with you guys. I'm like, they got 3 people. I'm gonna assume they're in rotation already. I'm gonna ease on to bed after this, and I'll have peace knowing they're on rotation. So I put in the chat, it's like, oh, you guys, doesn't look like you need a 4th. I think you're good. And then I heard Cesar on the thing. He's like, no, Richard, we're doing no fill. We need you definitely join us. This is quads rotation. We need you. Definitely come here. And I was like,
that's what's up.
It wasn't because I didn't want to play. It was like, man, I was whooped. But the call had been put out there. What was Russell called? The beacons lit. He lit the beacons. Yeah. So I was like
the beacons. Yeah.
I told the CFO.
Hey man, you did it to yourself. If you really just went.
So we said he was watching the stream also, and he was borderline about to join as well. But he saw me pipe up, and I was like, yeah, let me get in there with him. I'm down for some quad rotations. And you guys were coming in like 8th and 9th, yeah.
8th and 9th.
And then when I popped in there,
and it wasn't for not trying.
It was just a numbers game.
Well, not only that, there were some sweaty people Saturday.
That was part of my pitch to the missus when I got out. I was like, so the guys need me. Need you? Yeah, they're playing. So they're playing in, it's meant to be 4 people, but they only have 3 and they're getting killed by groups of 4. So they need a 4th and I've got to help out. Okay, that makes sense. And then here I come for Warzone. So there were sweaty people on before I got there. Just,
oh yeah.
Oh, there was times where me and Brand and friend of the show Renee, we wiped almost everybody out, and then that 4th person comes around the corner and just kills all of us because we're like already
shields,
almost mostly dead. Wounded. So, because I mean, there was one where Brand was laughing because we literally got murdered outside the window of that house. All 3 of us were gunned down.
That sucks.
We almost took out the whole squad. Just somebody just turned a corner, and we were just like a couple
from a window. They just mowed you down like mobster style.
Yeah, I'm sure their buddy was on there like screaming like, "Oh, they got us!" He's over there running like, "Oh, he's the savior." They probably praised him, put him on
it's a room full of Groots. He called him out and spotted y'all.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
he murdered 3 people. He brought us all back.
We collected all the candy, and then we were the Little Red Riding Hood gang.
Yeah. We won one with that. We won.
Oh man,
it was right after we all put on the costume.
I was telling everybody at work, it's like we won with the Little Red Riding Hoods, and I took like a 2-minute clip of us winning that and being evac as the Little Red Riding Hoods. I made the joke and then I sent it to Russell and he sent back Little Red Riding Dub, so he got the joke too. He knew it was in there.
There we go.
Oh man, but we're as Brant said, the new thing is like collect candy, and I guess it's a whole nother currency and you unlock stuff. And you guys played a little bit. You got a couple more rounds than I did, so it took a little bit longer for me to unlock Little Red Riding Hood.
Maybe 2 games.
Yeah, 2 more.
You were concerned
because I was way behind. It was like 750,000 candy corns or whatever.
And there was
we're not even trying.
There was whatever glitch that was where like was it the boat? You guys couldn't pick up the candy on the boat.
Yeah,
or something?
On which island was that? It's not Rebirth. That's
Drake's
Uncharted. Yeah, that's it. The last week's title, Drake's Keep. It's not Drake anything. Fortune's Keep.
Fortune's Keep. Fortune's Keep.
Uncharted Drake's
Yeah,
Fortune's Keep.
Drake.
That was last week's episode.
Yeah.
But you would get out there, and those were the biggest piles of candy, right? Like there's like normal piles of candy, and then like this giant Halloween jack-o'-lantern head on top of that. It's like mucho candy, but it's just hovering in midair. You can't pick it up. You're just walking around it. But I thought I was like way behind you guys, and then after I checked that, like the second round after that, I unlocked Little Red Riding Hood, and then I feel like we won the round after that.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Oh, we made sure we
Yeah.
won with all of them.
Yeah. We won one before that, but I don't remember super how memorable that was. You guys remember how that one finished? Was that a Vondel map?
Some of those we won were probably some of those we won where it was like 4 versus.
Oh
1.
yeah,
It was
that's
something
what
like,
it was. It was the
it's only
numbers
one
game.
guy.
We charged
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah. Like, what can you do for that dude? You know what I mean? What can you do?
Yep.
We've been in that situation
Yeah,
too. So.
that's exactly how that one ended. And then the one we won with the Little Red Riding Hoods, Cesar brought back, I think, Brant and Rican.
Yeah.
And Brant ended up getting the final kill because Cesar ran into the gas. Like the clip, I need to see if I could post that clip to Instagram because I downloaded it. Cesar had a durable mask and dipped way into the gas and bought Brant and Renee back when they couldn't buy anybody else back. And then Cesar, you ended up getting the last kill. You shot this guy and you were running around like healing, like that's how the clip's going. And it feels like 10 to 15 seconds later, we got the victory, like the victory thing splashed, and we were like, who got the final kill? It just gave it to us, but I'm assuming somebody died in the gas eventually. Yep.
Probably
it's like, man, the game just
yeah.
gave up and gave it to us, and then we get treated with this glorious cinematic masterpiece of the 4 Red Riding Hoods. Like, we got our awards, we got Pacifist, and Brant's Red Riding Hood is like typing through the keyboard is like the cloth from the Red Riding Hood outfits coming up through the keyboard, and they're typing on the dress, Little Red Riding dress. And then like you see us getting evac, like flying through the air on the ropes out of that. That was perfect, man. And the joke the whole time was whoever came in second place had to watch the whole fucking thing. Little Red Riding Hood's going
Oh, I'm sure
I can't skip it. Look who we just lost to. They're everywhere.
Oh gosh.
It was perfect, man. That made it for me. I was laughing so hard. And then we got back to the menus, and Vondel was the next map, and somebody was like, look, we got to queue it up. It's Vondel. I'm like, we got to go to bed, guys. It's like 2 in the morning.
Like,
we got to go.
Let's
go out in the wind. It was fun with Rican, man. I don't know if he's on the chat, but Rican's always a good time in Warzone.
We were definitely going to lose that one, so.
Oh, the revenge of the fucking Red Riding Hoods. It was perfect. Hopefully they won't nerf her like they did the Groots, because we ran as the 4 Groots for so long.
Oh my god.
I love being Red Riding Hood. It's perfect. That's it for me though. I did some organization down here. I've been wrapping I went and bought a new bag of rubber bands. That's how you know I mean business. I'm like tying up cables and stuff with the rubber bands. It's like finally I can get some organization going on here. At last.
The rubber band man.
Games acquired is pretty light. I threw a bunch of offers to an eBay seller for like some game soundtracks and a strategy guide. And it's a Soul Calibur 2 strategy guide, which is like the limited edition, and it comes with the soundtrack CD. And speaking of soundtrack CDs, I recently got the Final Fantasy X soundtrack from Goodwill of Seattle or something. It was one of those through eBay, not the freaking Goodwill eBay that they've opened up. Which friend of the show, Mermy, has confirmed one of our local Goodwill stores completely filters all their games to shopgoodwill.com and not put them on the store shelves. So
apparently Goodwill has like their own, I forget what they call it, but they have like a specific electronics only Goodwill now.
I've been to one of those. It is called The Grid, and it is outside
The Grid. There you go.
It is outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, and I bought about 12 games when I was there. I flew to Virginia to purchase a car and drove it back specifically through Charlotte, North Carolina so I could go to The Grid. It's a really cool store, though. Like, they have fully configured, like, Windows XP machines, Windows 98 machines. It's a neat little spot.
I think I remember when I was in there, I was stuck on my Game Gear phase when I was looking at all their Game Gear games. Yeah,
I got a bunch of Game Gear games and original Xbox titles. They had some super inexpensive Xbox games. Where was I going with all this nonsense? Oh, I won this lot. Cesar, you taught me many, many years ago. They're not bootleg CDs, but they're not an official printing of game soundtracks, and it's like mica or something like that on the spine, MICA or MYCA. Does that sound right?
Oh, it's like Southeast Asia. It's like it's official print, but
Yeah.
it's done. It's like official pirate prints because it's like if you buy the official soundtrack from Japan, you're paying like
Yep.
$30 to $60 for the whole set, and they would sell exclusively in Southeast Asia for what you would pay in America for a CD, which would be like $14 or something.
So
like that.
I got my Final Fantasy X from Goodwill. Did not come with the slipcover. So I gambled. I sent this seller a bunch of offers. They had a bunch of soundtracks. I got the Final Fantasy VIII soundtrack, the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, the Final Fantasy X soundtrack, Final Fantasy XI for PlayStation 2, which I think is unplayable right now. Final Fantasy XI, the expansion Chains of Promethea for PS2 as well. And then a couple like PC versions of Final Fantasy XI. But they are those Southeast Asia print CDs. As soon as I popped them out and looked at them, I'm like, this is like a printed label. And so basically I paid $6 for a nice printed copy of... I hope it sounds the same. I haven't really tested any of them, but I didn't have 7 or 8.
Yeah,
the 10 was just kind of like a throwaway to see if they would pitch it in there.
They normally are. I mean, they normally take like a original CD and use it as a master copy. So it may not be like as good as the real master copy, but.
And I hope they just play. It's nice to just have those on a digestible format, you know. Oh, is that it? I think that's all. That's it for me, gentlemen.
Not much for me. I mean, outside
Warzone.
Of Warzone we just talked about. Yeah. And then we got those 2 wins on there. We tried to get something going last night, and I never made it back in time. And
work out.
I'm downstairs. I'm downstairs in the lobby, but I'm wrapping controllers. Like I told you guys, I was waiting, but I was down here with my headset on, but I was still like wrapping rubber bands around controllers and stuff. So I made some progress.
He's doing a Travolta from Pulp Fiction. Just
may or may not have sent that to my spouse because they were wondering why all of a sudden I was going to go play Warzone. I was like, nobody's here, so I might be back upstairs. I don't know. I'm just cleaning up down here. I'm wrapping controllers.
Outside of that, I did finally start it.
What do you think?
Game. So it's pretty good. I don't know how many hours I got in there because they got that weird bullshit where I can't see how many hours I am after 10 days. So yay. But I mean, I think I've done the tutorial rift, which is in the Surther Village or something like that, which is kind of like
the rift I'm in, those woods. I'm still in that rift.
And then I think the map splits out after that, after some storytelling in there. And I mean, I do like the direction up here of like this is the first time Zelda's met Link. I like that.
Yeah, she doesn't know who he is. He's like the sword
like
fighter.
She didn't even know his name until she went to his village, you know, and they were kind of like, people were speaking up for him like, yeah, it was always training.
It's the first time he's from a different village too, right? Like, this is a whole nother spin. I've never been, not to cut your thing off, but like the Zelda lore and trying to piece together this happens and then Wind Waker happens. And then if he fails in Wind Waker, this goes, like, that shit has never mattered to me. It's like always been, they always said there's 3 pieces of the Triforce. There's wisdom, courage, and power. And they get split amongst these 3 characters across the timeline. And that's just like, I've accepted that's it. I don't try to piece these things together. Just, to me, that doesn't really make sense.
I mean, I think a lot of this piece, like that timeline, is just mostly for like setting the tone for the world, right? Where you have different species
but even at that, it never really makes sense. It never really is cohesive. Why did they look like this?
I think that's just their way of. I think that's their way just to justifying, like, keep tracking that on there.
Like the Kokiri people turned into the Kokiri from Wind Waker, right? Wasn't that the right timeline? Like they regressed into these leaf things. That's like, how did they turn from people into these tree creatures?
Who knows? I mean, they kind of went away from that anyways, right? Because
Right.
Breath of the Wild and
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom, they're just like a line now. So yeah, they happen somewhere here, and there's no connection to anything. So it's kind of like this Echoes of Wisdom seems to be the same way,
Yeah.
right? It's like no connection to really to anything outside of maybe our style of the Link's Awakening, of the new style of Link's Awakening, because I think Grezzo did both games, right?
Yep.
Grezzo did the remake, and they
It's
did
always
this one
been
as
in
well.
my mind like
So, I
almost
mean,
like Chocobos or Sid or the airships or the Cactars. Like they were just recurring themes throughout the series, but they weren't really like interconnected. The Sids have
Yeah.
nothing to do with the previous Sids or the ones after.
I mean, and then Link's Awakening has always been like
Yeah.
a fever dream, anyways, right? Because that one's the one that
Yep.
was really out there, but environment wise. But yeah, I mean, I've got to the point where if you got into the rifts, and y'all mentioned this before. I mean, Zelda meets Try. You get to the staff. You have the ability to create echoes of different items and enemies and whatnot. It does take a lot of the stuff from Breath of the Wild on the problem solving and building stuff to solve issues to get across the screen or solve these little dungeons that are just scattered throughout the map. But yeah, I've been the first dungeon, I guess, is which they always consider the training one that kind of shows your way, and it opens up and it gives you two directions you go to. You can go to a Gerudo desert and work with those people, or you can go to the Zoras to the northeast.
I'm gonna be excited about this.
I've went to the desert and completed the Gerudo part, which has a pretty good story on there. I do like I won't go into details because you're playing it. But I do like these characters in this game, or the world around them. I've kind of walked the whole map already, unlocked a lot of points
Just
in there.
moving
so I can
around.
kind of warp all over the places,
That's
which
smart,
is usually
yeah.
my thing to do. Yeah. That way, when I go through the game, it's just kind of like easy mode at that point. And I'm already on the Zora part where they have
I was
both
gonna
Zora
say,
representatives here.
There's
We
both
got
types of Zora
yeah.
there.
They have the
And
river
the
and
ocean
the
ones, yeah.
the sea ones.
Because
that
some
are
are
on
friendly
there.
and some are not in
Yeah.
Zelda lore. Typically.
Both of these are super friendly. Leave it at that. But no, kind of.
Kinda.
I'm at the final dungeon of that one where they're closing the rift on that one. So after this one, this will complete this two-parter, and then after that, the story should progress. I'm assuming based off the map, it seems like it has the Goron Mountain volcano in the top left. So I'm assuming that's going to be the next one, as well as that little area that just kind of popped up in the recent Breath of the Wild games, which is that forest with
Lanayru,
electricity, right? That's what it looks like on the right. Yeah, that's what it looks like on the right. So. And then, of course, you have Hyrule Castle, which is still blocked off, which is probably going to be the final area. So, but yeah, I'm based off this. I should probably be about a little bit over halfway of this game. So I just got to complete probably those last two, and then probably the ending. So that's probably my guess. So I'm just kind of just taking my time with it. But it does have that bullshit I'm back to again, where I'm sitting here and I'm like, I find a dungeon somewhere and I'm going around in a cave, and I was like, let me look around and see if I can find another one. And it's like 1:30.
Damn.
That's what it was last night, at least. So I was like, all
I
right,
like your
gotta
fill in
stop
the
doing
map
this, 'cause
context.
I
I
didn't
like
actually
that a
progress the
lot.
story. Yeah, I just circled around because you find these little rifts that are like mini dungeons, and I think I've done 3 of them. There's one that you do with each major event. And then I found one just kind of like floating out there in the middle of nowhere. So those are out there too. So I mean, but other than that, game's very different. I like it a lot. I think it's a breath of fresh air. I definitely would like to play more of this. So I hope they continue to do something like this. So just based, I'm not even done with the game, but from what I've seen, I will absolutely play a sequel to this. So, it's been a very good time. I like how they
It's
experimented with
fresh.
this one. This
It's
would
fresh,
be
isn't it?
considered like this feels like a double A
Yeah.
experience of a Zelda game, right? So this is like the one we would have got like on the
Yep.
3DS or something like that back in the day. So it does have that spirit on there, which I like a lot. So, but yeah, that's it for me. I mean, that's all I've really put in there. Because I do have probably like you guys or maybe Brand or somebody else, but I do have Silent Hill 2 that'll be here
Ooh.
tomorrow, and I got my copy of Metaphor Fantizo already preloaded on Steam here. So that unlocks on the 11th because I looked out because Wario posted that deal where Green Man Gaming fucked up and they sold it for $30 and they honored it. So I got it for $30.
Oh,
So I was like, hey, if they cancel it, they cancel it. They honored it. They sent me the key today. I preloaded it on Steam, so I was like, I'm playing this on PC.
I've been thinking about trying out that demo
so.
on Xbox because it's going to be on Game Pass. You mentioned to me, Cesar. So if I love it, love it.
It is
it's
not.
I thought it was.
Pass.
Yeah.
I thought so too. It's going to be Xbox Play Anywhere, and the marketing is done by Xbox.
The way they've been marketing, you thought it was Game Pass. Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. Nope. But it is part of their Xbox Play Anywhere. So if you buy the Xbox version, you also get the PC version included. But that is it. I was going to wait and play that on Game Pass as well, but I was mistaken. It is not Game Pass at all. It is strictly you have to purchase that game. So
good to know.
More likely it's probably going to be in Game Pass at some point, right? I probably early next year would be my guess, but that's it for me. I'll kick that over to Brant.
Brant, bring us home.
Yeah, I mean, aside from some Warzone, I also did play a little bit more of Zelda. I'm probably like 2 rifts ahead of Cesar, but that's about it. I'm not like super far ahead, and haven't really made too much progression. So, that's really all for me. I haven't had too much time to get into anything else.
Did anybody play the Metaphor demo? Like the first, it's like a prologue.
I played maybe the first hour or so.
Yeah, it's a long demo.
Is it? All right, this might be a Richard thing to satiate me.
And save data carries over to it. Plays very, very well on Steam Deck. There's a guide out there to put the perfect settings on there. I've actually played it on the ROG instead because I set it on the ROG for 120 frames per second and it's playing 120 frames per second. So I was like, I'll just play it on that.
It's nice to have options, right?
Yeah. But if you look for a guide from, I think it's either RPG Fan or RPG Site. One of the reviewers puts on there like the best settings to get it on Steam Deck to get it to hit like about 40 to 50 frames consistently, and it plays pretty smooth.
It just looks so stylish. This team at Atlas just has that niche nailed, and people are raving about this.
I mean,
it's quality.
It's Persona. It's the Persona 5 team, right? They were bored. They didn't want to do another Persona. They got somebody else doing Persona 6. So this is what they wanted to do with something different. And this is
we keep saying metaphors. Is Metaphor Refantasio?
Fantasio. It's almost like a fucking Disney title with Mickey Mouse and a sorcerer.
Yeah, it kind of is, right? Brand, have you played any Epic Mickey? That PS5 version?
No, I haven't. Yet.
That demo had me wanting to play more of that. I cleared that demo and was like, I want to keep going with this. If it had been available right then and there, I probably would have gone like, if it was one of those handoffs to the store, like, here's the digital copy. I might have been like, yes, go. It feels so good with the triggers on the DualSense. Does Metaphor have any PS5 DualSense integration? Do we know?
I don't. I'm playing it on PC, so I don't know. I mean, you can try the demo on PS5 and find out. The only catch. Murray saying something about you abandoning Fable.
We only know one Fable player amongst us,
and the only catch. Yeah, it has to be you, Brant. Yeah, I think the only catch is that save data is not it won't follow you. So depending on where you play that demo and how much time you put on there, you're probably gonna have to decide that's the console version. Yeah. Outside of the Xbox Play Anywhere, if you do the Windows Store version.
And Windows Store loads on your ROG, right? But probably not Steam Deck. It's not a Steam code.
You would have to find alternate storefronts to. You should be able to load.
Just like you do for Ubisoft and like Heroic Launcher for GOG and stuff.
I wanted to look it up. The demo for Metaphor is around 5 hours.
That is
and
solid.
That's a game.
I think if I played 5 hours of a game, I would want to purchase it after that. That's good.
I mean, so Richard, it might be your bag, man. I mean, the very beginning, like the first 10 minutes, you have like a king of a fantasy world who's being murdered by somebody who's trying to take the throne, and then you find out that the heir to that throne, the prince, has been also killed previously, and then the guy who actually killed the king is in that room trying to advocate himself for taking over this country.
Political intrigue.
So it has a lot of those political type themes that have been pretty popular recently, kind of like 16-ish, where some people wanted Final Fantasy 16 to stay on that route. Versus it went.
Speaking of demos that sold me on the game and became one of my all-time favorite games,
Yeah.
I'm still high on 16. That game was so
so some people, some people have argued about it goes too far in the fantasy route on that one.
Which
so I'm
game?
like, this I don't know, but it seems like if
16?
you want that political, yeah. But hey man, I loved it. I just some people wanted more of the Game of Thrones stuff versus the the main villain who showed up
the
on there and
fantasy
kinda,
element of that. Yeah.
run everything behind the scenes. They like the political intrigue more. So, but then this
Anybody
people's
who played
taste.
the game saw
So,
it headed that direction.
but-
God, that game was fucking good. I
Yeah,
just played
I
some
mean-
more Final Fantasy 16.
It was good. But yeah, so far what I've seen in Metaphor has been pretty interesting.
Any
so.
news? I mean, I know it's early. Like, any news on print run or availability, or is there going to be any issues with that potentially?
It seems like they got a physical copy.
I think I
on
bought
everything,
Persona
so
5 on
that's
everything.
being released on there.
I've got it on PS3.
I do have Persona 5 on everything. Yeah.
Oh, 5-hour demo, Brant. Go on. Demo could be my game of the year.
Yeah, just look up prologue demo.
This might be my next Portal game. This has Portal written all over it. Brent, did your Portal come
Yep.
out yet?
You realize that doesn't come out till November 1st, right?
Okay, I know
Yeah,
I know you pre-ordered it, but I didn't know when all that stuff released. I would love for
We
somebody
talked
to get
about
that.
it here on the show.
Yeah, I would love for somebody to get that
Come on,
box
man.
on that thing, and because I don't have all my PlayStation boxes are that one back there. I need the PlayStation
Yeah.
I need the box with the actual PlayStation on it.
First game Brand's playing on there is
It's
Days
gone.
Gone. So
Friend of the show
gone.
Russell jumped on a PlayStation Portal with the recent Amazon. It's like Amazon resale. It's like the new Amazon Marketplace. He said he got his brand new. It had the when you first peel that thing off the screen, it's got like the instructions and stuff on it. It had
Mhm.
that on it and the box and everything.
it's just like a guilty purchase, probably. Like, I don't need this.
Yeah, he borrowed
in the
mine
box
enough to
somewhere.
where he appreciated the value of the Portal. Because you're not.
No, I'm talking about the
Oh,
who
yeah,
I bought
yeah.
it from. Yeah.
Because I would see those on Reddit too,
Yeah,
on like
yeah.
Walmart returns. It would be the open box Walmart return for like $150 or whatever. Yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah.
solid deal.
So you open it up and it's just like a two
Yeah,
chopped
it's
up
some
bricks
rocks.
and a
Or
tempered
you open
glass.
it up and it's a MacBook with no bubble wrap and it's just a pile of steaming hot shit when you try to fire it up because it doesn't work.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I you never had me convinced to buy anything from that site, right? From that
I've never
stack.
bought from Stack
it's
Social
like,
before, but I see those deals all the time. Like, how do they even exist if they just churn out
Well,
lemons?
But it's funny to me because like before I looked at it, I was like, let me look at it. I went down and looked at the reviews, and like at least 30% of the people have made the same claim you have. Looks like shit. I don't know how they sell
Garbage.
this as a refurb.
Garbage.
And then some people they actually get a refurb. Yeah, but they seem
Yeah.
pretty easy to return though. Some people they say down there they had
and
no
I bought it
issues
with
returning
PayPal,
stuff,
so I'm gonna dispute it with PayPal if nothing else.
yeah.
But I have there's 40 years of computers in this household, right? There's not a single one that looks halfway as bad as this thing looked. If I were to hand this machine to you guys, you'd be embarrassed. You'd be like, ugh. Without powering it on, you looked at it and be like, ugh. The first thing I did was took a
I wouldn't
Clorox
even
wipe
power
to
it
it
on at that
immediately.
point. Yeah.
This thing looks like shit. Also got a pair of headphones from Target that had been opened. And I reached out to
Really?
them immediately. And they're like, can you tell us why the product's defective? And I'm like, I don't know if it's defective or not. I haven't powered it on because it's been opened. There is a hair in the headphone package. And there's like fingerprints on the... It's got like a matte finish, right?
Yeah. This is not
I was like,
new.
this is not new.
Yeah, it's not new.
And
This
before
is
I
not
reached
new.
out to Target, I looked at an unboxing, and the first thing the person does is like pull this plastic wrap off the box. It was not on my box. Mine just like slid out of the packaging.
Yeah.
They gave me some money back, and I fired it up, and it seems to work. So I may just take the used, returned, hit, whatever. I Clorox wiped the shit out of that too, but at least it works. So we'll see.
I mean, it's not like they're gonna put them. It's not like they're gonna put them on their ball sack or anything like that. So you'd be all right.
You never know.
Their ball sack just went around my ears. They cupped my ears gently. Oh, God. You guys got anything else to add before we get out of here? Brant, did you play any additional items? Acquire any additional items? Any bootleg CDs?
No, sir.
Any garbage MacBooks? Any pre-balled headphones come your way?
No.
Amen.
Well, nightmare stories of refurb products. Thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Adios.